Today, we are going to be talking about the spectacular failure of Amazon Games. Is Jeffy B a gamer? He actually has been investing in gaming for a very long time. He invested millions into the company's Second Life. They put $3 million into Congregate Games in 2008. They had a games division, but they weren't focused on making games for PC and console until 2014. And their first game was something called Breakaway. Oh, look at that elevator toss. That's clean Breakaway right there. They hosted an open alpha in 2016, but they found little to no success, and they took the game back into a closed beta before canceling it forever. The game wasn't fun, and it's not fun to watch. So then they scratched their heads and they said, what can we come up with that's a little bit better, a little more catered to the needs of our gamers? How about a game called Crucible?
A raider from the planet Orison. Ajona is a deadly marksman. This here is Bug. He can also crop dust his enemies, slowing and damaging them.
When in doubt, empty the magazine.
Yeah, this guy.
Every time you die, there's a 30-second wait before you're able to get back in a match in Heart of Hives, and following that, another 8 seconds for the drop pod to take you back to the planet's surface. Character movement speed is agonizingly slow, the map is gargantuan, and respawn points are often as far away from the objectives as can be.
The game became available for download on May 20th of 2020, and then a couple months later, they announced the development is done. IGN, who rates a lot of games pretty highly, they gave this game a 4. You guys want to know what else got a 4? Balan Wonderworld. If we're talking Amazon Games, and you think, what have they done well? It's New World. New World finally gave them a successful release. And of course, Jeffy B was elated. After many failures and setbacks in gaming, we have a success. But very soon after this, the foundation would start to crumble. There were so many problems with New World. If you take a look at the chart here, they now currently are sitting at, on average, less than 20,000. So where does that leave us? We have New World, dead game. Nova and Intensity were 2 games meant to copy League of Legends and Fortnite respectively. Guarantee you they sank a bunch of money into that. And of course, in the other parts of the canceled column, we have Breakaway and Crucible, the games we talked about. Chad, if you're baking a cake, you're getting a cake baked for you, rather. And you go to Mario and you say, hey, can you bake me a cake? And he comes out with this? Not bad, Mario. And then you go to Luigi and you're like, Luigi, I need a cake from you as well. And he throws you one of these. At that point, it's either the ingredients are really fucked up, Luigi has some spoiled milk, or maybe he's not baking the cake in the right way. He's putting all the right ingredients together, but then he's cooking it at 175 Fahrenheit. Let's look at Amazon through this lens. Let's take a look at Amazon in terms of cash, because you need money to make games. You need money to pay everybody. They have more cash than 99.99% of corporations. So it's probably not surprising then to hear that they put over about $500 million a year into Amazon Games. It's clear that they have the money to get this stuff done. But what about the complementary technology? You have Amazon Web Services. And if you want hardware, look at those pictures. They have more computational resources than maybe any other public firm on the planet. Chat, you know video games. There's something that's very important about them, and it's the developers. Who did Amazon get? Lewis Castle. He's known for his contribution to the series Command and Conquer. Rich Hillman literally created the first John Madden football. Tim Swift, responsible for development on games like Portal and Left 4 Dead, and Clint on Splinter Cell and Far Cry. They were both hired to Amazon Games. If you have a surplus of the highest quality ingredients anywhere, and you fail to come up with anything more than a burnt souffle, maybe we should take a look at who is running the bakery. Mike Frazzini started overseeing the gaming division of Amazon as early as 2009 after spending 5 years at the books department in Amazon. His lack of experience in video games was a big concern for people. A whole team of developers cringed because he couldn't tell the difference between pre-rendered cutscene footage and the actual game. He apparently would come into meetings with an article from like VentureBeat talking about a game that was making a lot of money, and he would say, we need to do this. He would apparently understaff projects, but ask them, we want you to be able to play with 10,000 other players on the same server. You have to make a game that 10,000 people want to play, Mike. Anyways, after the cancellation of Crucible, an outgoing employee entered the Seattle office and found a crass message on the whiteboard. Fraz is cancer. Orbiting the note was a handful of +1s written in assorted colors. Amazon has a compulsive need to do everything in-house. So if they are trying to move books around the world, they will make their own logistics network. You want to figure out how to ship those packages in a good way online, develop the software and hardware capability in order to do so. So, when they were tasked with making games, chat, they decided to build their own game engine. Amazon Lumberyard. Here's how it works. There's apparently two main engines that people use to build games. Unreal Engine, and you have the Unity engine. Amazon says, no. What if we make a service that's interconnected with all of Amazon's web services? It would be brilliant. The only problem is it was terrible. It was so slow that developers would play Halo or watch Amazon Prime Video while waiting for Lumberyard to process art or compile code. A common saying around the office was that Lumberyard is killing this company. And the worst part was developers had no choice. You might look at this slide and go, Aspecticor, you're smoking reefer, okay? Activision, Blizzard, and Riot Games, those are two companies that have made a ton of money on a ton of successful games. Well, there was one thing that Amazon Games was able to replicate from these other companies. A toxic work environment for women. 4 female game developers say their worst experiences of sexism in the industry were at Amazon. Another says a member of senior leadership impeded her career growth after she disagreed with him, and that he created a new management position above her and filled them with men. Not a single one of these people is credited with a single project at Amazon. If we don't have these people, who do we have? Who is our hero that is gonna bring Amazon Games out of the depths? It's not you. No, it's not you. Don't say it was me, chat. Let me tell you a little story about a man named John Smedley. John Smedley co-founded a company called Verant Interactive, and he made games with it. It was bought out by Sony Online Entertainment, and he served as the executive of Daybreak Entertainment under Sony Online for a number of years. Apparently, there is a hacker group known as Lizard Squad, and they were responsible for a ton of DDoS attacks on big companies. The Lizard Squad decided to report an explosive on board American Airlines Flight 347. That was a plane that John Smedley was on board. Following the sentencing of a member from this hacking group, John decided to do something that any reasonable adult would do, which is to dish out some ice cold justice on Twitter, baby. His parents need to be held accountable for his actions, in addition to his going to jail. So I'm coming for you, Julius. Person over age of 15 is responsible for his own actions legally in Finland. You can't sue parents for anything. Even better, I'll sue him directly. Smile. He was fed up with the hackers, they got to him, and he had a Joker moment on Twitter, and of course, he stepped down from his position at Daybreak Games Company. But don't worry, you cannot keep him down for long, because right after this, John Smedley started his own company. Yes! John Smedley is gonna bring gaming back with Hero's Song, an action roguelite RPG. They went to Kickstarter in 2016, but they raised less than $140,000. And not to be deterred, Smedley and the crew, they went to Indiegogo. And they said, hold on a minute, let's do a flexible goal of $200,000. They were only able to raise about $94,000, but the key difference is Kickstarter will kick the money back if you don't make it to $800K. Indiegogo, however, provided them with $94,000 from approximately 3,000 donors to pay their employees with. In December of 2016, a calendar year after announcing the game, they announced that due to poor sales, chat, Hero's Song was being canceled. And then Pixel Mage Studios disbanded. No! Now chat, I'm just being silly. What is remarkable about this scenario, Aspecticor? Huh? This happens all the time. At the start of their Indiegogo campaign, they made a little reveal. In fact, they had received $2.8 million in private funding. Would you like to see what $2.8 million gets you? It might blow your mind. Everybody strap in, okay? 8 likes. 8 likes. Let's go to their website. You know what John did after this failed? John packed up his bags and got hired by Amazon Games. John Smedley is the general manager of Amazon Games San Diego to this day. But Mike Frazzini has stepped down as the leader. So the only person out of all the people I've mentioned today that still work at Amazon Games, John Smedley. That's the Smedley factor, chat. So we've looked at all of their capacities, right? Why is it that they fail? Making games the Amazon way does not work. Here's something that Jason Child said: adapting to the corporate culture counts for much more than expertise. Amazon does hire experts from various industries, but they expect those folks to adopt the Amazon way. Games are art, and when you have people who have those artistic capabilities, they are so incredibly unlikely to fit into Amazon culture. Frazzini is fond of saying anything can be measured. This is how Amazon works. It's why they have people peeing into bottles, because every single aspect of their business, both internally and externally, is constantly being managed and analyzed. So when the core ideas of a company conflict with the artistic elements of game design on such a fundamental level, it's not surprising that their games come out as poorly executed, soulless imitations of industry trends. They have failed horribly as a developer, but they have found success with Lost Ark. So with Lost Ark, they used out-of-house developers, and then they published and distributed the game without massive changes to like the structure of their management within Amazon Games that would likely contradict directly a lot of Amazon's key values. I don't see them being able to produce a successful video game. I don't think they'll be willing to take the leap to deviate from their own norms and values that much. But I've been Aspecticor. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out so much as a creator. I appreciate you checking it out.